All right, Alfred Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV. It's my daily podcast. I got to check the date, man. I be forgetting these dates. I believe it's March 17th, 2017. Grab my phone. Yes, that is the date. Friday. It's my daily podcast. This is something that I've started doing. People tell me all the time that they're into the longer podcasts so they can just have something to vibe to while they're working out or at night when they're chilling or even at work. So I'm just trying to get the people what they want. And we've been doing these daily podcasts. Now, that won't stop me from being on top of stuff when it happened, giving my perspective, my opinion. You see, I've already done a lot on the Rose Birdman situation. That won't stop anything. Now, this is just something extra. This is me going the extra effort to give subscribers what they want. If they say they want more of Mr. Teleferro, listen, man, I ain't got no problem with that. That means the brand is in a good place and it's growing, right? But of course, we're going to get into Rose Birdman today. Really good show for you guys today. We got Rose Birdman. We're going to talk about Wayne and Birdman. We're going to talk about Khaled and Birdman. Really interesting stuff. And also, once we come out, we're going to go to a break. Then we're going to go to Russell Westbrook, MVP, dissing Steph Curry again. Then putting up a triple-double again. Then I think we're even going to talk about T.I. in this show. And I might even talk about Drake's More Life and give you a couple expectations on what I think about the project. As it's going to release tomorrow. And I might give you Teleferro's take as well. I'm definitely going to give you Teleferro's take. And it's an interesting one. We're talking about parenting skills in Teleferro's take today. So, very action-packed show, but we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into Rick Ross, Birdman. Again, Rose, man. What can you say about the man? I can't say anything negative about the guy. The guy's on my damn intro. It's the first voice you hear for the most part. The guy showed me a lot of love. I've met Rose probably 2-3 times, and every time he's went out of his way to show me love in some form or fashion. So it's like, what bad could I ever say about the guy? But when we talk music with Rose, we kind of sleep on Rose and the bars that he gives in his projects and the concepts that he gives. Now, it doesn't mean that he has a concept and like a J. Cole, he sticks to that concept every song by song, it matches. No, that's not the thing with Rose. You got to pick and choose those spot messages, but when you look at the title for his projects, in every song he gets back to the title. For this project, Rather You Than Me, it came out at midnight last night. I was able to get it early, a couple days early, not too early. But I got it a couple days early. I listened to it, and I will. My opinions on it are all over the place. The bars are there. The message is there. Rose's at that point in life where he's giving jewels. He's giving jewels to his team. He's telling the people the jewels that he's giving to the people around him. And he's at that point in life where he wants people to invest in their businesses. Hence the Buy Back the Block song that he had a couple months ago. He wants people to invest, and he's really on some empowerment shit. I'm going to be honest with you, and we need that now more than ever with our communities. Now, a lot of people would kind of want to filter out the bullshit that rappers still talk about, but I think Rose's starting to go away from the bullshit. Just listening to that project one time, a couple times through, Rose's starting to leave the bullshit and really address things that are affecting his day-to-day, and they're hitting him in an emotional sense. Black people in our state in this country, that's hitting him. People around him and the moves that they're making. Hint to Meek Mill, hint to Wale. It's hitting him. Even our communities, you know what I'm saying, just buying back property, that's hitting him. And another thing that's hitting him. Birdman. Did I do that right, y'all? Birdman is something that's really, really, really starting to irk, probably has been irking Ricky Rose. Now, I'm not going to go back through and post the lyrics again. Y'all got the vlogs for that. If y'all want to check out that exclusive content, check out the vlogs for that. I went down and we kind of went through the Rap Genius form of the lyrics, and we talked about every lyric, but I'm going to just sum it up for you. Ricky Rose is pissed at Birdman for a couple reasons. First and foremost, let's make this clear. Rose is on record of saying Birdman is somebody when he was growing, when he was developing, back when he was hustling, Rose says Birdman is somebody that he looked up to. He wanted to kind of copy, mimic his style, the team atmosphere, the everyone eats, that Cash Money, that Juvie, Manny Fresh, that team environment. And as Rose got older, and it happens with a lot of us, we just don't talk about it enough. As Rose gets older and he becomes the boss, he realizes you ain't do it the right way. I got a dope I got a dope vlog coming about J. Cole and Rose, how they've called out their idols, but it's very dope. Check that out later on tonight, probably, or tomorrow. Um, he's calling out Birdman now because Rose became the guy that he thought Birdman was. What am I talking about? Let's go further in detail. In Rose's raps, idols become rivals. He talks about how Birdman, he rents his cars. These are not his vehicles. That's what Rose said. I don't know, what I'm saying? I don't know any truth to that. But he talks about how your team hurting and you on a fucking boat. These are things that Rose talks about. Your team starving. And I don't want to go too far in depth with this, but you do see a Manny Fresh. You do see a Juvenile. And they're not in great spots. They do hip-hop shows. They do the circuits with the Down South Legends type tours. They do those type of concerts. Manny Fresh still does DJ sets from time to time. But they ain't where they supposed to be. Let's just be honest. We treat our legends the worst. And part of that is because our legends have treated themselves the worst with some of the deals that they've been a part of. And Birdman and Cash Money, like, the relationships have been scattered with everybody in Cash Money. Rose talks about how Birdman, he knew Birdman wouldn't visit BG. He talks about how Turk came home and there should have been a check there for Turk. A lot. And of course, Wayne. He talks about how Wayne shouldn't have to go through this. Wayne's a legend. And Rose's like, I'm saying the stuff that people are scared to say. Like, you look at somebody like Birdman, who, from the life he lives, he doesn't seem to live a struggle life. I date back to the Angie Martinez interview when she went out to Birdman, one of his cribs, and Birdman looks to be living a very luxurious lifestyle, all right? Nothing seems to be hurting on Birdman. I think he just bought his girlfriend, one of the Braxtons, I don't know which one, the Tamar, I don't know. He bought one of them a car. Birdman don't look like he hurting out here. But Cash Money continues to maintain their innocence in this situation with Wayne. They say they don't owe him money, and if they did, they don't have that money. That's what they've been saying. And it's like, okay, where did the money go? Is it in the cars, the mansions? And Rose like, no boss does that. How do you consider yourself a boss, an OG, and you letting Wayne just have to ride off? I talked about it in my vlog earlier. Again, check it out if you haven't seen it. I talked about how Wayne says Carter 5 has been done for a couple years now. At some point, we all know Wayne's a very lyrical dude. We know he's an up-to-date. He stays within, he plays off words. I'm watching him perform with Chance the Rapper and 2 Chainz on Ellen. And even in that, the No Problems verse, when he comes out and perform, go check that out as well. Wayne said, he switches up the verse. And then at the end, he's like, I'm going to let him lie like Ryan Lochte or something like that. That at the time, Ryan Lochte and the whole Olympic situation was going down when he had lied about getting assaulted and all that and robbed. And that's just showing Wayne always likes to play on things that are going on. So what I'm trying to say is, after so many years, Wayne's going to have to redo the album. So we're in two. Look, Wayne said he'd have music out by now. He said he's dropping like 3 or 4 projects by now and will be starting in March. It's March 17th, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look like Wayne has a project coming. It's definitely not coming out this weekend. And I'm pretty sure it ain't coming out in March. And I'm almost positive it ain't coming out in April. I'm almost sure about that. I think Nicki's dropping in April. Cash Money's going to spread those projects out if it were to come. So it doesn't look like we getting any kind of mainstream project. Maybe Wayne will put out a mixtape soon. But honestly, mixtapes have changed. The way Wayne mastered the mixtape world, and he's one of the best to ever do it at this, he likes going over beats. Well, here's the thing. People don't consume music like they used to through live mixtapes and that piff. The mixtape world has changed. Now you consume mixtapes through iTunes, through Apple Music, through Spotify. So now instead of hopping on other people's beats, unless it's an official remix, people will just give you their watered down tracks and call it a mixtape if it's not going to sell much. I'm just keeping it a G with you. I don't think people doing this enough. All right? So Wayne's lane of mixtapes, how he used to shut the internet down with mixtape releases, is kind of faded away now. People don't consume music like that anymore. And I'm not saying Wayne couldn't bring it back. I'm just saying it's going to be difficult, right? And back to this Rose Birdman thing, he's like, look, Birdman should not have put Wayne in this situation. I think we all agree with that. If it's true, first and foremost, I think we agree that Wayne is not the best businessman, and Wayne chose loyalty to Birdman over business. He chose loyalty over business, probably didn't fill his paperwork out, probably didn't understand it because his mind is so focused on being the best rapper alive. He was always told, he always thought that daddy would take care of everything. And Rose's pissed. I think that put him over the top. I think that was the final thing. We'll get into probably what started all this in a sec. But I think that was the thing that put him over the top. That was the thing that Rose was like, man, you will never be respected. Rose talked about how Birdman won't be invited back to Miami. Rose seems good. He look like he don't even care. He put it out there. It like he wanted to make a statement with that record. I think somebody on Twitter said this was the most I don't like you. It's not a I don't like you diss record. It's almost a you disappointed me diss record. I seen somebody tweeted that out. Shout out to whoever tweeted that at me. And it's true. Rose's like, dude, I looked at you as a boss. I looked at you as an idol. You hear hence the title of the track. Idols become rivals, right? And we're going to get into what probably started all this. DJ Khaled. I only knew to an extent. Again, that's before my time. I was still in high school, college, you know what I'm saying? Early college. Not that old. But I was still in high school at the peak of Khaled's Birdman relationship. And Khaled was signed to Cash Money at some point, we believe. And Khaled wasn't treated correctly. Well, this is what Rose is saying. And Khaled's not the type. Khaled's all about positive energy, and salute him for that and bringing people together. He got a relationship with Wayne. He got a relationship with Drake. It gets too iffy. So Khaled took the approach to never really address Birdman in a negative light. It's just not who Khaled is. Too many wins right now. But even when he won winning like this, he just would never say a bad thing about Birdman. To my knowledge. Maybe there's an interview out there where he talks bad about him. I just ain't heard it. Right? And even with Khaled up, he still ain't talking bad about him. This is the time where he could be like they, or replace they with Birdman don't want you to. Birdman don't want you. Because, I mean, it's really logical. Birdman like the boogeyman of hip-hop. But he didn't do that. So I think this ticked off Rose initially because he probably seen maybe 2014, 2015 that that Birdman wasn't giving Khaled the good end of the stick. That he was screwing him. Because you got to believe it. You got to look into it because look at what Khaled's able to do right now. I mean, Khaled is... He's the biggest, arguably one of the biggest things, top 5 biggest things in music right now. So you got to know there's some kind of truth to it. And you look at somebody like Birdman, he has the power to just push a button and put Khaled in the right spot. I think that ticked off Rose initially. And the whole thing with Wayne just put it over the top. And now it's like, I can't never have respect for your dog. You ain't shit. That's what he's saying. And it's almost like Rose saying, you keep coming, you came up to the Breakfast Club telling them to put some respect on your name. Come to me. Pull up on me. Let's talk to me. You had the DC to come to them. I'm putting your name in my mouth. I'm the one that ain't. Look, Birdman said he got pissed. This is what he told Angie Martinez. He said, I wanted to meet somebody who had my name in his mouth as much as Charlemagne did and the Breakfast Club did. He said, I wanted to meet this man who's ruining my business. But what the hell do you think Rose is doing to your business right now with diss records like that? You can claim it's street shit, but Rose's like boss to boss. You got to see me. He ain't, and I think in an interview, Breakfast Club asked him, what's up with Birdman in Miami? Rose said he don't come to Miami no more. He don't get down like, double MG, we active. I think were his exact words. Why do I know these interviews by heart? I watch too many interviews. But, I mean, it's a very, very, very iffy situation, very sticky situation. And I think it's something that we could just keep talking about, really keep talking about. There's Nicki Minaj who comes into the midst of this situation. Ricky Rose. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into that. Meek Mill has come up in Ricky Rose's album as well. Rick Ross said, I told Meek Mill to not trust Nicki. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Actually, we'll give it one more bar. He pretty much said, You should have gave your friend some distance and not been too quick to kind of hop out on that limb and diss Drake like that. There's a resounding kind of presumption that Nicki Minaj may have gassed Meek Mill up to diss Drake. And initially, we thought Nicki would be somebody who wouldn't be for it. She wouldn't want this to happen. But people are starting to think that maybe Nicki gassed Meek up to set his career on fire because as soon as her and Meek got done, she was quick to hop back around Drake. I mean, that's a resounding thing that a lot of people are saying right now. And if that is so, I don't know the truth. Only them two would know that. If that is so, Meek Mill played himself. He got to hold that L. Because regardless of what you say, Drake and Meek Mill make good records from Amen to the Rico record that I really liked that got killed because of that beef. You know, it's disappointing. A lot of people in the industry believe Nicki Minaj is one of the fakest. Like, Remy wasn't lying when she was like, people hit her up and say, like, people were quick to jump to her defense and give dirt on Nicki Minaj. Every person I talk to that have ever been around Nicki, and it's not a lot, but it's a few people, nobody has anything great to say about her. Very disappointing. All right? When we come back, we are going to get into some sports. We're going to get into some Russell Westbrook talk, all right? We're going to get into some very, very, very good Russell Westbrook talk when we come back after the break. MVP talk, all right? Miss Telefaro TV, let's come back with a commercial break. All right. Yo, all right, we back. Alfred Telefaro. All right, we're talking Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook. What's beef? We talking Birdman, Rick Ross. Hey, y'all better get into this NBA point guard beef, though. The unanimous two-time MVP, Steph Curry, was asked, I believe yesterday, about MVP conversation. And he said James Harden is the MVP. And nothing's wrong with that. But we know there's no secret. Golden State players and Russell Westbrook don't like each other. Anytime Steph has a chance to take a shot at Russell Westbrook, he does it. Or vice versa. Vice versa. Right? So when asked about that comment from Steph, Russell Westbrook said, Who is he? Who is he? He doesn't get a vote. Who is he? Right? What does this mean? In the grand scheme of things, I think Russell Westbrook always in the back of his mind has felt like, I don't understand why people think he's the best point guard. Remember in the playoffs last year when OKC was up like 3-1, they asked him about Steph Curry's defense and Russell Westbrook kind of shrugged it off with a laugh or smirk or something like that. I don't think he really respects Steph Curry's game. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you. Steph Curry hit a shot, remember last year? Around in February, I believe, when Steph Curry hit that damn near that 40-footer to beat OKC and OKC. After that, I'm like, hey, Russ, you got to respect him. You got to respect this man's game. Two-time MVP. And they came back and beat you and Kevin Durant in the finals. So I don't understand why Russell Westbrook doesn't have a lot of respect for Steph Curry's game. But Russell Westbrook keeps that old school mentality, that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant mentality. Some people you got respect for. Some people you don't. And that old school mentality just never had respect for people who just take jump shots. They like people who drive. They like people who got moves and other things like that. And there's just not a lot of respect for Steph's game. I never seen it from Russ. He just don't have a lot of respect for him. And I don't know vice versa if Steph Curry respects Russell Westbrook's game either. I think Steph looks at Russell Westbrook as a guy that takes a lot of shots, that does a lot of unnecessary things, that goes out of his way to get triple doubles. These are not words out of Steph's mouth. This is me talking, but it looks like this is what outside looking in, what Steph's thinking. I think Steph probably looks at Russ like sort of a ball hog, and you see why KD left you and came to me. He wanted to play with a team. It's the realization of the situation, right? Russell Westbrook, by the way, we're going to kill that conversation of MVP. And I know I've been on the fence about it a lot. I told you Russell Westbrook still is in the lead as long as he averages a triple-double. Since I've last talked to you guys about that, Russell Westbrook has had, 16, 13, and 19 as assist totals. Rebounds are there. It was about the assists coming down the stretch. He's at about 10.4, I think, right now. So he went up from 10.0 earlier this month or like end of last month. Now he's at 10.4. So it looks like he's comfortably there, and he's going after the triple-double. There's no secret. He's doing stuff on purpose to get a triple-double. But in the midst of that, his team is winning. And by the way, I don't believe Steph could do what Russell. If you switch Russell Westbrook and Steph, I think both teams' records get worse. Put it like that. But I don't think Steph could get his team in the playoffs. The Warriors are still a great team without. If you switch Westbrook and Steph, the Warriors are still a great team. Maybe just not as good because Steph really fits in with that Warriors system and their personalities. If you put Steph on OKC, I don't think they make the playoffs. Russell Westbrook fits this system of having to be the guy that takes too many damn shots night to night. The stamina, the strength, he fits it oh so well. So it's the right person for this job, the guy with the me mentality. All right? Just want to set off that disclaimer. But I think Russell Westbrook has won the MVP. I'm not going back on this. Unless they fall dramatically. Right now, they're about number 5 or 6, and they're pushing for 4. They're at 6 right now, and the Clippers are struggling, so it looks like they're going to hump the Clippers. And then they now, 3.5 games back of the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz are kind of in the midst of a 500 kind of slump. So now we're talking about Russell Westbrook. If he gets the 4 seed, he has to be a unanimous. I heard Shannon Sharp say this earlier, and I agree. He has to be a unanimous MVP if he gets the 4 seed, right? What Russell Westbrook would do if he gets that OKC Thunder team to the 4 seed would be more impressive than what Steph Curry did with the Golden State Warriors last year. And if he didn't get unanimous MVP, it's all about hatred for Russell Westbrook, his persona, his personality, who he is, how he doesn't like the media like that, who he is. That's what it all would be about. Because what Russell Westbrook is doing, now we're not talking about this team not making the playoffs. We're talking 4 or 5 seed and a triple-double. You might not ever see that again with the lack of talent he's playing with night to night. You know damn well Steph Curry couldn't get this team to the playoffs. You know damn well Russell Westbrook and the Warriors wouldn't be struggling like they are since Kevin Durant went down. There's only so many games Russell Westbrook going to lose. He going to go off 1 every 4, 1 every 3 games. We'll be back. When we come back, we're talking a fan running up to T.I. We're talking, we got some other great stuff, man. We're talking a fan running up to T.I. We're going to talk about Drake's more life expectation. And, of course, you got to stay for the end. I got Teleferro's take, a very fun segment that I've launched. And we're going to give something to the people about parental expectations. All right, stay tuned. We'll be back. If you're looking to book me for an interview video or by phone, if you're looking to have your music or your skill featured on my daily podcast, if you're looking to book me for a speaking engagement to help motivate some kids, if you're looking to have me rock some of your clothing to help promote your brand, make sure you hit me up at booking@mrteleferro.com. Again, that's booking@mrteleferro.com.